They know anything else.
Still ahead with a deadly mushroom meal still making headlines. We go foraging to discover just how dangerous picking the wrong shroom, Corby, can be. You're watching the Sunday Crash.
It could be confused for psilocybin mushroom.
As Aussies battle the steep rise in food costs, more and more of us are taking up foraging, a free meal from nature. But as we enter peak mushroom season, you might need to know the difference between edible and deadly. The Penrose State Forest is 90 minutes south of Sydney and home to thousands of pine trees, the perfect environment for mushrooms.
Okay, I'm going to take you through the details of how to positively identify this in the forest floor.
In New South Wales, state forests are the only places where people can legally forage for edible mushrooms.
Come with me, let's find the first mushroom. Great!
Today, this group of amateurs is looking for saffron milk caps and slippery jack mushrooms.
I think there is great value in bringing back these skills into society because by default you become a caretaker, and that is good.
Mushroom foraging continues to grow in popularity, with some online mushroom groups hosting tens of thousands of members. But the dangers shouldn't be underestimated.
There is risk involved in misidentification. When you go out foraging, you want to know what you're looking for, you want to know how to identify it in safety. You find something orange, you cut it, you get orange finger. That can only be saffron milk cap.
What are the implications of the poisoning bit of it? I mean, it probably goes without saying, but I mean, it's pretty serious, right?
It is. The worst extreme is death. And then I guess you may end up with kidney damage or liver damage.
Every year in Australia, hundreds of people are accidentally poisoned by consuming wild mushrooms. Death cap mushrooms are the world's most toxic fungus, accounting for around 90% of all mushroom-related deaths.
It's very difficult sometimes to tell the difference between certain types of mushrooms. Some of them are very, very similar. They're the same colours, the same textures. If you consume one of these mushrooms that's very toxic, like the death cap, which can look a lot like some of the magic mushrooms, if you take that, then within a couple of hours and within a couple of days, you're going to be in real trouble.
We saw just how lethal mushrooms can be when Erin Patterson allegedly poisoned 4 lunch guests, with only one surviving.
If you want to go out foraging for mushrooms, get someone to teach you. Localize information with someone who can show you the point of difference between the one you want to eat and the one you want to leave.
But it's not just the edible kind that can trip people up. Some forms of psychoactive mushrooms, otherwise known as magic mushrooms, can also be confused for poisonous varieties.
To the untrained eye, I think it's quite difficult. There's a lot of look-alike species that are present in the environment.
Kane Barlow is a Melbourne-based mycologist who's studied mushrooms for decades.
They're these incredible little organisms that just kind of grow in weird little spots. They're just these bright, vivid colours, or, you know, all the textures really kind of interesting.
How dangerous or risky is it for people that don't know what they're doing to go out and start gathering?
I think without having a familiarity of mushrooms, I think it is risky. There are species that look really quite similar and can be easily confused.
We're in a park in inner Melbourne, and today Kane's taking me foraging for mushrooms.
So we were talking about some of the poisonous lookalikes.
Yeah.
This is one of those poisonous lookalikes.
Okay, when you say poisonous lookalikes, it looks like a...
It could be confused for a psilocybin mushroom.
Unnervingly close to the kids' playground grow both poisonous and magic mushrooms.
You don't want to eat these.
And it's right at the bottom of a slippery dip in a children's playground.
Yeah, that's right.
How dangerous can the wrong kind of mushrooms be for children?
You definitely don't want your child just picking a Gallerina, for example, because, you know, the poisons are going to have a much stronger effect.
So watch out if you've got kids.
Absolutely, because generally the hands go into the mouth and it, could be problematic.
Magic mushrooms are a prohibited drug in Australia, so it's illegal to possess, use or sell them. But since July last year, doctors have been able to prescribe medicines containing psilocybin, the psychoactive ingredient in magic mushrooms, to help with treatment-resistant depression. But the risks of self-medicating can't be underestimated.
I think it's very dangerous because some people are going to have a really bad experience. Some people might get some benefit from it, but we just don't know who's going to react in what way. And I think that can be a real problem because all it takes is that one time to pick the wrong mushroom and you could actually lose your life. And we have seen it, it's tragic. And I think that it's just such a big risk to take.
Obviously, there's parts of this which are illegal, and you offer a service to help people identify mushrooms. Are you assisting illegal actions, or are you reducing the potential for things to go really wrong? How do you see that?
I see this from a perspective of people are going to do this anyway, and I don't want people getting harmed by something that they feel themselves is a natural thing to do. So I feel that we're helping to educate people to minimise that risk.
Back at Penrose State Forest, foragers have scored quite the loot.
It's not so easy foraging for mushrooms. You really have to get in there and look for, I guess, the colour and the textures and nooks and crannies. I think it's really exciting.
Like finding things for yourself where you weren't expecting to find them was really exciting. Jackpot.
Like when you see one and then you're like, oh my God, there's like 50 of them.
Yeah.
We found boxes full, so we'll be definitely gifting that to friends and family, helping with their cost of living.
No beef Wellington though.
While some might find foraging fun, it is important to learn from an expert.
What I think is the most valuable from my perspective is giving back the eyes to people. The beautiful smile of the people when they see the mushrooms and harvest the beautiful basket of edible mushroom. It's enriching for them, and I bask in that happiness.
Oh, Diego! You're so sweet.
I know what you're doing next weekend.
Well, I'll be out there foraging for mushrooms. I tell you, you truly would want to know what you were doing. But I'm interested, like, are the people who ingest it and get in trouble, do you think they're people that are looking to eat them, or do you think it's people looking for magic mushrooms? I feel like it would be people looking for magic mushrooms.
Possibly a bit of both, but yeah, maybe more of the...
Also, can we get a spade to that playground, please?
Yes.
Can somebody dig those things out of there? Please, no?
They look grabbable for kids,
yes, exactly.
right? And just even hearing him say, just kids touching them with their fingers and
then
hands
putting it
straight
in their mouth.
mouths.
That's it.
Slightly terrifying.
So what did you do with all your magic mushrooms, Sam?
Corbett was asking
For a friend.
Christmas party.
For a friend.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment.